Okay, so averages are topic. So let's get these down on the page. Lesson objectives, keywords, dates in Welsh. Okay, so hit pause. Once you're ready, we'll have a go at the starter. Hit play. Right then, here's our starter for today. So hit pause, have a go at the questions, and when you're ready, hit play again. Okay, so what fraction is equivalent to the first part of the ratio 3 to 4? It's 3 to 4. So the total number of shares is 7, so the first part is going to be 3 out of 7. 7, that's the first part. Writing ascending order. What does ascending mean? That's right, smallest to biggest. Now we can't compare them unless we make the same. Make them the same. So I'm going to use decimals. I prefer to use decimals. 37 out of 100, that's going to be 0.37. 0.32 just stays as it is. And then 30% is 30 out of 100. So that's going to be 0.30 or 0.3. Okay, so smallest is going to be 30%. Next smallest is going to be 0.32, and the largest 37 out of 100. I prefer to write our fractions like that, not with a slash. Divide 30 in the ratio of 5 to 1. So 3 steps for our ratio. Remember what they are? Add, divide, multiply. So we add the ratios. Give us a total of 5 plus 1, 6 shares altogether. Then we take our £30 and we find out how much is 1 share. So 30 divided by 6 gives us the value of 1 share, which is 5. And then we multiply 5 and 1. So 5 times 5, 5 shares gives us £25. And 1 share is 1 times 5, which is £5. And we can see if we add them just to check. 25 plus 5 gives us £30. That's just a check. Okay, this next question, we've got to find the mean and the range. Anyone remember what the mean is? Add them all up. Add all the terms up and then divide. I'm going to set it as a fraction. Divide by how many there are. So that means I've got to do 8 plus 11 plus 13 plus another 8, all divided by 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. When I add them together, I get 19 plus 21, so that gives me 40, divided by 4, and that gives me 10. This one here, remember, we don't break it up, we keep it as one expression. We don't split them up. But what we do is we collect the like terms. You've got 9a. Any other a's there? Yes. It's a minus 2a. We take the sign in front of it, so minus 2a. And you've got minus 5b and minus 3b. So we've got 9a minus 2a. 9 minus 2 gives me 7a. And then minus 5 minus 3 is going to be minus 8b. Okay? Good. So before you rag rate that, I've got a couple more questions for you. So mark that. When you're ready to have a go at the next questions, hit play again. Okay, a couple more questions. Hit pause, have a go. When you're ready, hit play again. Okay, so question 6. How would you test the hypothesis that a coin always lands tails down? How can we test that it always lands tails down? Well, we would conduct an experiment. In this experiment then, we'd flip a coin. How many times? 10 would be good, but 100 would be better. So the more times we can flip it, the better. And if you did 1,000 times, even better. Okay, easy way to do it is if you were doing it in class, we'd split them up. So everybody would do 10 and then we'd collect it at the end. Okay, good. And question number 7. Which graph represents this bath being filled? A, B, C or D? So we're looking at the depth here. So we're filling it up and we're looking at how quickly it takes to fill it up. This one goes fast, then slows down and then speeds up again. This one goes slow to fast. This one goes slow and then speeds up. And this one, it goes slower and slower and slower. We're looking at the gradient, sorry. Looking at the gradient of each slope as it goes along. So it goes slower and slower. If we look at the bath, because it's wider, it gets wider and wider. If the rate of flow into the bath is the same, it will fill up faster at the bottom and it'll slow down as it goes along. So our answer is going to be D. Okay. So now I want you to rag rate the starter. Okay. And when you're ready, hit play again. And just a little reminder in case you've forgotten how to rag rate your lessons. Remember, green is for the best effort, amber means you made some effort, and red means that you haven't put enough effort in. And then the understanding part, so that's the rag, and then the 1, 2, 3. 1, you know exactly what you're doing. 2, you need a bit more practice, not yet secure. And then 3, you're just starting to get into it. Okay, good. So rag rate the starter, and when you're ready, hit play again, and we'll move on to the next topic. Right, so we're going to look at frequency tables and getting the mean and the mode today from the frequency table. Now, we can put a lot of data in a frequency table. Without the table, we can calculate the mean, but say we've got quite a lot of information, it's not always easy to calculate it. So here's some data on class sizes in the school. So there are 2 classes that are got 27 pupils, 1, 2, 3, 4 with 28, 1, 2, 3 with 29, and so on. Now we can add them all together and divide by how many there are, and that'll give us the mean. We can work out the median, middle number, most common, the mode, and the range, the difference between the biggest and the smallest. If we put it in a table, however, like so, it does make it a lot easier to work with. A lot easier, a lot quicker. What we're saying here is class sizes of 27. There are 2 class sizes of 27, so our frequency is 2. 28, we've got 4 classes, 1, 2, 3, 4. 29, we've got 1, 2, 3 classes, and so on. 5 classes of 30, 2 of 31, and 1 of 32. So we've placed it all in a table. Now we can use this table then to work out the mean. So what do we, if we set it out like this, class sizes 27 to 32, the frequency 2 of 27, 4 of 28, and so on. And here we can work out the total. So the total number of students in class sizes of 27 is going to be 27 times 2. So that's going to be 27 times 2, which is equal to 54. Then I've got 28 times 4, which is going to give me 112. 29 times 3, which is equal to... What I want you to do now is hit pause, complete the table, and then when you're ready, hit play again, and we'll look at what we do with the completed table. So hit pause, complete the table. So you have to draw out the whole table in your exercise books, or in the books you've got with you. Okay, good. Okay, so now you've completed that. Let's have a look. 29 times 3, you should have 87. And I'm going to allow you to use a calculator with this one then. 30 times 5, 150. 31 times 2, 62 you should have. And there's one class of 32, so 32 times 1 was 32. Now some of you will remember this from last year. Okay, so now we need to find the sum of the frequency. And remember it was an E like that. The sum of the frequency, a funny E, and an odd F. Let me just change that F. There we go, back to my red pen. F, sum of F is equal to, and if I add all those together, I get 17. And here it's going to be the sum of F times X, the frequency times the class size. So sum of F times X, and that gives me 497. Now the mean is the sum of all the numbers, so the sum of F times X divided by the sum of the frequency. So that's going to be 497 divided by 17. I want you to have a go on your calculator just to make sure you can get the same answer as me. And you should get 29.2. That's our mean. Okay, so I want you to hit pause, complete your table. When you're ready, hit play again, and we move on to the next exercise. Okay, so let's have a look at finding the mode, median and range from this table. Now we know the mode. Mode, that means the most common. So what's the most common number of classes? That's going to be 30. It's got the highest frequency. Highest frequency is 30. Okay. Now the median is the middle term. That's after you've put them all in order. So it's the middle term. Now, if I look at how many class sizes I've got, when I add my frequency, I've got 17. So what I do is I do 17, because it's an odd number, I add 1 and divide by 2. So that gives me 18 divided by 2, which is 9. Now, I have to count where does 9 come in when I add them all. I keep adding up. So 2 plus 4. So if I say cumulative, or just say adding for now. I've got 2 here, then 2 plus 4 gives me 6. 6 plus 3 gives me 9. So the 9th term is going to be in here. So I've come to my 9th term, it's 9 I'm looking for. So that means my median is 29. Don't worry about that one so much. We will come and go over that again. And then the range is the biggest to smallest. And our range then, the biggest class size is 32 and the smallest class size is 27. So 32 take away 27 gives me 5. Good, so make some notes on that. So we're going to copy that down. I don't think you need to copy the table again, we've already got that. But copy the mode, median and range down in your books. So hit pause, write that down, and when you're ready hit play again. We'll look at another example. Okay, in this example we're going to be looking at grouped data. So in this example we've got over 3 hours, 55 aircraft arrived late. The number of minutes they arrived late is shown in the group table below. So they've grouped the table, it's over 3 hours, they've watched how many are arriving late. So how many aircraft were 0 to 10 minutes late? 27. How many aircraft were 10 to 20 minutes late? 10, and so on. We don't know exactly what time, how many minutes they are, but we know that they're between a certain range of data. Okay, so those are aircraft arriving late, and that's how many minutes they arrived late. So we can work out our mean from this. Now, what we do is we set our table like that. So we've got our 0 to 10 minutes late, 27, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, and so on. So hopefully you're remembering this from last year. We've got to find the midpoint first. So we've got to find the midpoint of 0 to 10. Now, hopefully, I can hear you all screaming out 5. You might be right, But what we've got to do is we always work it out. We work out the average of those two numbers. Okay, so what we do is we say 0 plus 10, and then we divide it by 2 because we've got two numbers. And 10 divided by 2 is 5, so you are correct. The next one is 10 to 20. So we do 10 plus 20 divided by 2, and work that out. 10 plus 20 is 30, divided by 2 is 15. We work out the next one, 20 plus 30 divided by 2, that's going to be 50 divided by 2, so it's 25. Okay, so what I want you to do is fill the rest, draw the table, copy the table out, fill the rest of it out, and here what we're going to do is we're going to do the midpoint times the frequency. So it's going to be 27 times 5, we work that out, and so on. Then the next one is going to be 10 times 15, and you work that out. So hit pause, complete the table. When you're ready, we're going to go through it then. Hit play again. Okay, let's go. So we've got, let's finish our midpoints first. 30 to 40, so 30 plus 40 divided by 2 is going to give me 70 divided by 2, which is 35. And we always find the average of the two terms. 40 plus 50, that's 90 divided by 2, so it's going to be 45. And the last one is 50 plus 60 divided by 2, so that's 110 divided by 2 is 55. And then we do our multiplication. 27 times 5, 135. 10 times 15, 150. 7 times 25, very similar to the first one, but not quite. 175. We've got 5 times 35, which will give me 175 again. Interesting. 4 times 45. You should know that from working with degrees. That's 180. And 2 times 55, which is 110. Okay, so now what we do is we find the sum. Remember, it's the sum of the frequency. Let's highlight that. It's the sum of the frequency, yeah, and the sum of the midpoint times frequency. So those are the two we're going to sum up. Now, hopefully you recall, oops, I need to go into pen. There we go. That the mean, let's see which side I write on. I write on here. The mean is equal to the sum of the midpoints times frequency divided by the sum of the frequency. So if we have our sum here of the midpoint times frequency, sum of f is equal to, you should have 55 here, and then the sum of the midpoint times frequency. I tell you what, I'm going to write it as f of x. F of x. Keep it the same. And if I just rub it out and write it again, I'll do the same here. Just keep it the same as what we did in the first example. So that's going to be the sum of the frequency times x, f of x. There we go. And that's equal to, when I sum them up, I get 925. So we put them in the formula. That should give me 925 divided by 55. And when I work that out on my calculator, what have you got? I get an average of 16.8 minutes. Okay, good. So complete your table. Hit pause, complete your table. When you're ready, hit play again. So in this example then, we're going to try and find the modal class. Mode means most common. Mode means most common. So let's write that in there. Whoops, it's gone backwards. Most common. So what's the most common frequency? If we look down this table here, It's 27. So the modal class is equal to 0 to 10 minutes. Okay, that's our modal class there. Good. You don't have to draw the table again, but you can add modal class to the example we just completed. Hit pause, do that. When you're ready, hit play again. Now, the median is the middle term. Remember, we talked about finding the middle term. Now, when we summed the frequency up, remember how many it was when we summed the frequency? It gave us a sum of 55. Now, because this is an odd number, it's going to give us a fraction when we divide by 2, so we add 1. So we say the median, we do 55 plus 1 divided by 2. So that's 56 divided by 2. And when I divide 56 by 2, I get 28. So I'm looking for where's the 28th one going to lie as I add them up. So we add like we did before. That's 27. 27 plus 10 gives me 37. So I've gone past 28. So 28 is going to lie in this region here. So our median is 10 to 20. So as before, hit pause, make some notes, and when you're ready, hit play again. Oh, one other thing, I'll just write this on the side here. The range is how many minutes from the smallest to the largest. So the range is going to be 60, take away 0, which is equal to 60. Good. Hit pause, make those notes. When you're ready, hit play again. Okay, in this example, we're looking at university students taking part in a sponsored race, and they've completed a certain number of laps. Some of them have completed up to 40 laps. So some did 1 to 5 laps, 2 people did 1 to 5 laps, 9 people did 6 to 10 laps, and so on. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and find an estimate for the mean, which is what they've asked us for in the question. If I can just get my highlighter again. So they want us to estimate the mean. Okay, I'm just going to change my highlighter color back to yellow. I think that's more effective, and back to pen. Good. So what I want you to do is copy and complete this table. Okay, now you know at the end here we're going to have to find the sum of the frequency, and here we're going to have to find the sum of f times x. Okay, so hit pause, draw the table, complete the table, and once you've finished, hit play again and we can go through it. Okay, so let's have a look at filling this table in. Hopefully you've done it. Midpoint, remember what we said, we take the two data values, it's 1 to 5, so you do 1 plus 5 divided by 2, so 6 divided by 2 gives me 3, and so on. So 6 plus 10 divided by 2, 6 plus 10 gives me 16, and then half of 16 is going to be 8. 11 plus 15 over 2, 26 divided by 2 is 13, and so on then. So 16 plus 20 over 2 gives me 36, divided by 2 is 18, and so on. So hopefully you've completed your table and you've got the following data. Got 23, and my pen's gone. Oh, there we are, that's better. 23, 28, 33, and 38. And then to find the f times x, what we do is we multiply. So 2 times 3 gives me 6. 9 times 8, 72. 15 times 13, which you should work out. You do that in your head, 195. And so on all the way down. So you should have 360, 391, 700, 66, and 1 times 38 is 38. So the sum of the frequency should have 91, and the sum of the f times x, I should have 1828. Hopefully you got both of those. Now we can work out our mean, which remember is the sum of f times x divided by the sum of the frequency. So that's going to be 1828 divided by 91. When I work that out on my calculator, the average number of laps is 20.1. Okay, good. So check your work, and when you're ready, hit play again. Right, so we found, in our question, we found an estimate for the mean. We've done that part of it. If I can just get my highlighter back. Oop. You didn't see that. Just get my highlighter. Oh, I want a yellow highlighter. That's better. So we found our mean. Now we want to find the modal class. Now, modal class means the most common frequency. So which one's got the highest frequency here? That would be 25. So that's our modal class. The modal class is 26 to 30. So make a note of that. Modal class is 26 to 30. So hit pause if you need to. And now we're going to try and find the median. Okay, so we want to find the median. So as before, because we've got an odd number, the sum of the frequency, which we had earlier, let's get my pen back. There we go. So the sum of the frequency was 91. Again, an odd number. So that means if I'm going to divide by 2, I want to get an even number. So I do 91, add 1, divided by 2. So it's 92 divided by 2. When I divide 92 by 2, I get 46. So I need to find out where is the 46th term going to be. So I add cumulatively, that's what they call it. So that's going to be 2. 2 plus 9 gives me 11. Then 11 plus 15 gives me 26. I'm not up to 46 yet. 26 plus 20 though, that gives me 46. So that means my 46th term is going to lie in here. So I get to 46 there. So the median is 16 to 20 laps. So hit pause, make some notes, and when you're ready, you can do some questions for me. Okay, so I want you to start on question number 7 for me. If we can just make this question a little bit bigger so we can see. So you're going to work through question number 7 for me. And just to help you get started, it's going from 0 to 6. So the midpoint, yeah, we can see this. That means less than or equal to and less than. So it's going from 0 to 6 is the interval. So what you can do on that is find the midpoint of 0 to 6, and that's going to give you 6 divided by 2, okay, which is 3. Right, just to help you on question number 7, if we look where it says from 0 to 6, so that's going to be 0 plus 6 divided by 2, which is 3. Here we're going to have 6 plus 12 divided by 2, so that's 18 divided by 2, which is 9, and so on. And then midpoint times frequency, you're going to do 3 times 8, and you're going to do 7 times 9 equals 63. I've done half of it for you. And then you find the sum of the frequency and the sum of the midpoint and frequency. You do not find anything in here. Okay, good. So once you've done number 7, you can move on to, oops. Once you've done number 7, turn the page and you can go on to number 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. Okay, enjoy. Start from number 7.